like one word, you know? I just started to find out all this stuff in Avram. I was just like, I can't believe you carried with me my whole life. I mean, it's so powerful. I had no idea what it was. And I don't know, just on like the most simple level, before I'd be walking down the street, someone would call my name. Hey Robert, what's up? Someone called my name, you know? Nice name. Today I'm walking down the street, someone calls my name. Hey Abraham, what's up? Just in someone calling my name Abraham, there's like 4,000 years of energy in that, you know? Just in someone like calling my name. When I started to get that, it's a very powerful thing for me. Anyways, the reason why I'm bringing this out in a very short time together right now is because a lot of us growing up in the States, a lot of us have English names and also Hebrew names. A lot of us haven't yet really connected to our Hebrew names. Most of us don't use them. Most of us don't know the inner spiritual meanings of our name. It says in the Kabbalah that a person's name is a very deep part of a person's spiritual self. It's like a very big thing in the Kabbalah, connecting to our names, finding out about our names. If for some reason a person doesn't have a Hebrew name, so it's a very exciting thing, because then we get to choose our Hebrew name. That's like a huge life decision. That's something you want to talk to like a rabbi about, spiritual advisor about. We learn that if a person's choosing their Hebrew name, we learn that they're actually discovering what their name already is. But that's just like a whole long discussion of itself. A lot of you guys here also have English names and Hebrew names? How do you guys know?
Yeah.
I know for me, when I started to connect to my Hebrew name, I started to use it, and I started to like get it, I was just like, man, I could have so easily gone through my entire life and never really known my name. That's crazy. But like Robert's also my name. Robert's also 100% really should be my name. I don't know, I feel like for me, anyways, if I would have gone through my whole life just using my English name, I feel like it would have been a tragedy. I mean, I've been Avram in my family for 4,000 years straight. It's a name I was given at my bris when I was born. It's a name that's written on my ketubah. It's a name they're going to write on my gravestone when I die. It's like my name. I guess what I'm trying. Israel. And we're sitting here in the holy spot for a couple minutes together. Guys, it's such a miracle we're sitting here in Israel right now, right? And it's like a real thing miracle. We forget about it. It's like on our daily lives and all this kind of stuff. But just for a big perspective, 2,000 years ago, we were the nation of Israel. We were all living in the land of Israel. We were a holy spiritual nation. We were on such a high spiritual level, the 12 tribes of Israel. Like, we don't remember what we were. 2,000 years ago, we fell from our spiritual level. We were kicked out of the land of Israel, spread through the whole world. We left with an ancient prophecy, an ancient tradition, that one day, way in the future, we'd be gathered from all the world, brought back to the land of Israel, once again become a spiritual nation, and be part of the whole era of world peace coming out in the world. This is like the ancient prophecy tradition roughly 2,000 years ago, like so long ago. After 2,000 years, 70 years ago, which was just yesterday, there's people that still remember it. Where were we 70 years ago? We were in the Holocaust. Just the other day, if we think about it. In the past 70 years, in front of our eyes, Russia falls, the Jews come back to Israel. South Africa falls, the Jews come back to Israel. Ethiopia, the Jews come back to Israel. France, South America, Morocco, Yemen, Iraq. In the past 70 years, almost half the Jewish people are back in the land of Israel from every country in the world after 2,000 years. Like millions and millions of people. Like, you guys get it? This is a straight out miracle. Nothing like this has ever happened in human history. Nothing even close. We're just screaming back. It's happening so fast in front of our eyes, you don't even realize it's happening. Like, I'm from Detroit. Like, what am I doing here? You know? For most of us, our parents and our grandparents, even some of our great-grandparents were not very connected to Judaism. We got completely disconnected. It's a long story why. But for almost every single one of us, if not, I'm sure every single one of us sitting here right now, our great-great-grandparents and their parents and their parents, to say that like 200 times. For the past 4,000 years, our personal ancestors have been living Judaism. Like full time, it's been their entire lives for 4,000 years. It's only the past couple generations we got completely disconnected from this. Maybe not the past couple generations, but our personal ancestors have been lighting Shabbos candles every Friday night for 4,000 years straight. can you even like imagine how long that is? It's like since ancient times, you know, we go back straight to ancient times. They even have the past couple generations, but our personal ancestors for the past 2,000 years have been praying every single day, 3 times a day, for 2,000 years straight. That one day them and their descendants would once again touch the land of Israel, be part of this whole process. And the fact that we're just sitting here together right now in the land of Israel for even one day, through the ashes of the Holocaust, to just be like sitting here, alive, in Israel, in Tzfat, for even one moment, in the big picture is so mind-blowing here. It's like you can't comprehend the big, it's just be like sitting here in Israel right now, you know? It's not a simplification. Some of you guys right now, these past couple of days, some of you are right now the very first people in your families, right now, touching the land of Israel for the very first time in 2,000 years. After having prayed for it for 2,000 years, every single day, 3 times a day. For 2,000 years, this is like mind-blowing, you know? You can even like comprehend such a thing. And I guess I would just like end by saying, I know for me, I was not connected to my Judaism. It was not interesting to me, as in like, not interesting. I was thinking of going to India. I don't know, I thought that might be interesting. It wasn't until somebody told me about these books on the Kabbalah, I started to read them a little bit. When I first started to read this stuff, my first thought was just like, okay, why anybody tell me this stuff existed? I realized now, it's like most people don't know. Most people have absolutely no idea. I feel like so blessed to have been here the past few years, learning about these things a little bit, having come from a very similar background to most of you guys. We only have these couple of minutes together right now. I don't know how to just like try to say it any more straight out there. But for any of you that don't know, the inner teachings of Judaism, of the Torah, of the Kabbalah, guys, this stuff is awesome! It is like so awesome, there's no words how awesome it is. Like Judaism is no joke. Oh, like we are the nation of Israel. We're carrying with us spiritual teachings that are like so deep, and like, I don't know, I look at you guys, I just see myself a few years ago. And I know the way the world is right now. I know how easy it is right now to go through our entire lives and have absolutely no idea what we're connected to. Like most people do. It's the easiest thing right now for so many of us to go through our entire lives and not even really know our names. It's crazy. But if we just take like a little bit of energy and tap into our inner spiritual roots, guys, this stuff is so beautiful. It's like life-changing awesome. Anyway, it's the best I should put out there in such, you know, a really short time. We have just like a few more minutes together if you guys want to discuss anything, ask questions on anything.
So, what do you suggest us doing to be able to connect with such our inner feelings? Like, how do you do that? It feels like you get so deep, I don't think I can get that deep.
I tell you like that. I think one of the first things that Kabbalah is really trying to get us to realize is that every single person in this world, whether we realize it or not, that every single one of us is a spiritual being. That every single one of us is here forever. That's the part we don't get. Because the moment a person starts to open to the possibility that we might actually be spiritual beings, and that we might actually be here, like really, like forever, and that everything we're going through right now might actually be a transformation that's interfacing in a very real way with eternity, a person starts to realize that the most important thing in their life is their spirituality. Everything else is a movie, and that movie ends. We start to get that, we start to take our spirituality seriously. We start to realize, okay, who in this world knows anything about spirituality? Like really? I want to meet these people. I don't know, you know, what are they saying? What do I think about that, you know? That's what it is, you know, the moment we start to take our spirituality seriously, start to see who in this world knows anything spiritual and start to learn from them. It's from connecting to people that are on very high spiritual levels that we can also grow spiritually. Whether it's through the books, the things they've written, through their ideas that they're passing on to us, or actually meeting them. That's how we can grow spiritually.
How did Birthright find you?
I don't know. I tell you, when I first started to learn this stuff, my first thought was just like, why didn't they tell me about this? And so a lot of what I do now is just like, I don't know, telling people that, you know, it's here if anyone's interested. I don't know, I started, and then, I don't know, it was probably over 10 years ago, I just started, like, a couple guys that I knew, like, brought me a couple of groups, and more and more groups have been coming up with it.
Good.
Good stuff.
Thank you for everything.
Anybody else want to ask?
Why'd you pick Spot out of everywhere else?
So I don't know if you guys quite realize where we are right now because you're going so many places so quickly. You just got to Israel. You know, we're sitting right now in northern Israel in the mountains in the holy city of Tzfat. This little town of Tzfat is one of the most spiritual and holy places in the entire planet Earth. But that's like where we are, like right now. Like this town, little town, is a place where for the past 5,000 years the great spiritual masters have been living, practicing, learning, teaching. Even today, people come from all over the world to this little town for spiritual retreats, spiritual learning. There's a large English-speaking community of people just like us from America, a whole community of very cool rainbow-colored people that are here doing spiritual work in very beautiful ways, raising families in spiritual ways. I was in Israel already for like 6 months when I came up to Tzfat. I came here for a Shabbat and I started to see what was going on. I was just like, what? This exists? I was like, you know, this is what I came to Israel for. It's like, cool. People were like, welcome home, brother. I was like, what's going on? I stayed here for a few months, and I'm back to the States for a little bit. I came here for another few months. I'm back to the States for a little bit. I came here for another few months. I started to realize I was kind of like living in Israel, visiting back in the States. I met an amazing woman from Baltimore, 5 houses down from here at Shabbat dinner, got married, kids. It's been like, you know, 15 years. It's been like a whole like long process. It wasn't like one moment. Like, I'm going to move to Israel, move to Tzfat, and I was actually already like living here for a while, and I realized like, oh, I think I might want to live in Israel. But Tzfat, you're going lots of places very quickly right now. When you guys come back, this is like a town to like spend some time. It's like it's really, really awesome.
Is that an invite? You're inviting us?
Yeah, I'm not inviting you. You're all invited. It belongs to us. This place. This is like spiritual treasure for all the nation of Israel, for all the world. It's here for anybody who wants to partake in it. Yeah. Anybody else want to ask something?
Do you live in here?
So me and my family live right out the window of the house. That's where we live.
Oh, okay, cool.
Talk to me a little bit about vocation. Like, I'm just about to graduate college and I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life.
I can tell you my personal story, you know, very quickly. I personally grew up having nothing to do with art, you know, besides playing with crayons like other kids. I was already in college having nothing to do with art. I was in college in Michigan. I was just kind of taking classes, ended up being a psychology major. You know, got interested in like meditation, took a yoga class, read some Buddhist things, read a couple of these, you know, books in the Kabbalah. I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I was finishing college and thinking, what do I want to do with my life? And I was like, well, if I could do anything, I think I'd like to be a painter. I don't know where that came from. It was like, you know, like a painter. What are you talking about? You know, I never like didn't know how to draw, right? I went to art school in Chicago for a year to study painting to see how I liked it. I loved it. I stayed there for 3 years studying painting. I kept reading the books on the Kabbalah. You know, they were blowing my mind. I was like, this is the most important stuff in the world. I want to learn this stuff. I wasn't finding for myself, you know, a spiritual teacher, a spiritual community that was exciting for me in Michigan or in Chicago. I figured I'd come to Israel a little bit, see what's going on, and everything came together. You know, I had like no idea what I was doing. You know, and sometimes, you know, there's a much bigger plan. If we're open ourselves to whatever, you know, is open, whatever. I think as far as what a person wants to do in their life, as far as a career, it's what we're going to be doing like most of our like time, right? So whatever it is, do something like you love to do, you know? If you do something that you just love to do, it'll work somehow, you know? It'll like, you know, we'll do it with all of our heart, we'll do it with all of our soul, and it'll like work, you know? If we're doing a job we don't like to do, like what good is that, you know? And I think one of the major things that Kabbalah is teaching us about with whatever we're doing, whatever job we're doing in this world, whether a person is like, you know, a doctor, a bus driver, a stockbroker, you know, Kabbalistic artist, or giving food to hungry people, whatever job a person is doing in this world, there's two reasons a person can be doing it. And that's either in order to get something from it, or in order to give something from it. And we learn that until a person is working on himself spiritually in a very deep way, everything we do is in order to get something from it. And the whole idea is to take any job we're doing in the world and start to transform why we're doing it. Take for example like a bus driver. You know, a bus driver could be driving a bus, and all day long just thinking about like, oh, when they get my paycheck, you know, whatever, you know, not really like, you know, into their job, right? The same bus driver could be driving the bus every single day and just thinking like, hey, I'm taking people where they need to go. You know? I'm taking people where they need to go, right? You know?